Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. How you doing today, babe?
I'm doing really well. Let me tell you, I'm a happy camper because I had some really good food today.
Oh my
How you
gosh.
feel?
You know what? Yeah, we did stuff our face a little bit. We went on a 5 mile run this morning so that we could eat for Thanksgiving and not feel guilty. You don't feel guilty, do you?
No, I feel pretty good. I got a snack and I ended up eating an apple
Yeah, I know,
as a
right?
snack, so I knew I didn't want to.
Yeah, I ate pretty late this morning and then threw
Hmm.
down at dinner time. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. Well, say something in the chat. Shout out the city that you're from. Let us know what city you're from, and let us know if you can hear us okay. I always like to check the audio as we get started. I see Valiant Forest out of Memphis, Tennessee. B1 to you too. So, in case you don't know, Pillow Talk is a show where my wife my wife is a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work. I'm a finance professor, and we get together and basically just lay against our pillows and just kind of try to have intelligent Black conversations that you might expect to happen between two Black people who love each other and also believe in Black intelligence and Black family and everything else. Those are our core values. So that's what Pillow Talk's all about. And I want to say hi to Big Dog Philly. Oh, Big Dog Philly OG. Roof.
He's
Big
an
Dog Philly
OG.
OG. Daniel Williams, the guy from San Antonio. Hugh Cooper, good to see you. High Rants from Seattle. Okay, Daniel says, I can hear you. Thank you. Hugh Cooper from Chicago, Illinois. Quentin in Paris
Chi-town.
and John C. Taylor the third. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're having a happy holiday. And also, if you could smash that like button, hit the like thumbs up.
Wait, smash the like button.
Yeah,
Where'd you get that from?
I just hear people say it on YouTube. I don't know.
Oh, that's like I don't know. Smash. My mind goes somewhere else. I don't
Oh,
know what
ooh,
to
look at
say.
you! Oh my goodness,
Okay, smash the
get your
button.
mind out the gutter, girl. Get your mind out the gutter. Anyway, so yeah, so we had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. We hung out with the family a little bit, and I got to see my niece and nephew, and that's a picture of us literally 20 minutes ago. So we Alicia took that in the living room, and that's me playing with my niece and nephew at my parents' house. We had a great time. And also, we have a really exciting announcement. In the Black Business School, we actually created the first ever Black Financial Therapy Department. Where we're going to explore, we're going to pull together our talents and work with other experts and explore financial therapy and the psychological barriers that keep us from building Black wealth, the barriers that keep our families from being stronger, and just kind of do deep dives into this. And we're focused solely on Black people. So that's a big deal. I'm excited about that.
I am excited. It's been in the works for a while.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, we always talk about it.
you and I have been in these academic departments run by white people, and I said, well, why don't we create our own? So yeah,
Hmm.
so we're going to be digging deep into financial therapy, and actually, the first class in the new Black Financial Therapy Department is a Love and Money Masterclass that Alicia and I put together. We're going to spend 4 weeks doing deep dives on relationships and money. And if you'd like to learn more about that, we start on December 4th, and you can ask us questions and you can come to class. So we're going to kind of explore a lot of topics that relate to relationships and money, your relationship with money, how money affects your relationships, and how your relationships affect your financial status. So if you'd like to join us, you can join at a discount. Feel free to go to loveandmoneymasterclass.com. I'll leave that on the screen for those of you that want to take a look. All right, so let's talk about our topic for today. Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady. How many of you know Tom Brady or his wife Gisele Bundchen? I can't pronounce it, but she's a supermodel. How many of you have followed any of this or have noticed? First of all, these are two very rich white people and very famous, and both of them are very good at what they do. And they're pretty much going through this $500 million divorce.
Half
And
$1 billion.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my.
Well, Tom is worth about a quarter billion, and they said his wife was worth about 400
400. Yeah.
million. Yeah, she's worth, so her net worth, at least according to some of the research that I did, was is actually almost double his net worth. which surprises a lot of people because they expect a man to be the guy who has the most money or the most to lose financially, and that's just not true in this case.
Yeah, she's not a happy camper, is she? Because I mean, I think that his decision to go back to the NFL was extremely disappointing to her.
Mm.
She is. Look at her. Look at that look
Well,
on her face.
well,
She
I
is
mean,
angry.
they do have a big family,
They have
some
a beautiful
nice looking
family.
kids,
Hmm.
and this lady, I read her bio. Giselle was a boss.
Oh, she's
She was
Victoria's Secret model.
Well, she was. I mean, I have it written down. A lot of people don't know this. I mean, like I'm a sports fan, so I know about Tom Brady, right? He's considered the GOAT in football. I mean, he set the record for the most Super Bowl appearances, the most Super Bowl wins.
And
He's
she's the GOAT in supermodeling.
She's the GOAT. She's the supermodel GOAT. Yeah,
Yeah.
like literally, this lady set world records for the amount of money she made. She was named one of the 50 most powerful celebrities on earth and stuff like that. What did they say? They said she's a Brazilian fashion model. Since 2001, she's been one of the highest paid models in the world. In 2007, she was the 16th richest woman in the entertainment industry and earned the top spot in the Forbes top earning models list in 2012. In 2014, she was listed as the 89th most powerful woman on earth. Vogue credited her with ending the heroin chic era of modeling in 1999. She was a Victoria's Secret angel from 1999 to 2006. She's credited with pioneering and popularizing the horse walk, a stomping movement created by a model lifting her knees high and kicking her feet to step. First of all,
No, she didn't create her own walk. That's
well,
my girl.
well, she's a bad boy. I
She
mean,
is
well,
bad.
that's not a bad boy. She's a
She's a bad girl.
bad girl. Yeah, bad
not
woman.
not bad meaning bad, but
Yeah,
bad meaning.
and then of course, so somebody says, I guess you didn't know she was cheating with her jujitsu instructor. Yeah,
That's
maybe
what
she
they
was,
say.
but
That's what they say, but I don't know.
well, they're headed to a divorce, so I think that when people are like on their way out the door in a marriage,
They just
there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on that people don't know.
they're
First of
like,
all,
hey, Mr. Jitsu
well,
man.
first off, let me just say this, okay?
Mhm.
I give full credit and for what she accomplished. I think it's really great. She did amazing things in the world of
She
white
did.
people. But look at her.
No,
That's
that's not a good picture. She
I
really is
I know
beautiful.
100 black women that look so much prettier than her.
But that's
I don't know.
that.
I don't know. Let me ask y'all what y'all think. Look at that picture right there. Give me a yes or no. Do you think is that a pretty lady to you?
She
Like,
is very pretty. You know what? That's not a flattering. Get another photo, boys. That's not a flattering
well, I don't
photo.
think. What do you? What I mean, it's her picture. I don't think. I'm sorry. I don't understand modeling. I guess I'm just not gay enough to appreciate. I'm not gay at all. But seriously, like I really think that this is like the face that a gay man would love. But this ain't a face like I want me a pretty.
No, there's other
Okay,
pictures of her
look
that's
at
way
that
better than
face.
that.
Look. Okay, so there she is, and let me just tell you, if that lady's a supermodel, then you are an angel from
Oh
heaven, girl.
gosh.
You seriously, who's prettier, the black lady or the white one? I mean, I'm
Well, let
sorry.
me see. I don't have the famous stomp down the
I don't care if you stomping. I mean, really, I'm not gonna lie. I've never been attracted to white women. No disrespect to them. If you're white and listening, I'm sorry, but you never had a chance. And models just some of them look so ugly.
the
I'm not saying
models.
she's
Yeah.
ugly. I'm not calling her ugly. I'm not calling her ugly.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, like when I look at that, I see like a gift from God, right? Just like when I first met you. But when I look at her, I see like a curse from the devil.
You are wrong for that.
God didn't send me
You are
that.
wrong for that.
I'll just say if that was like the prettiest girl I ever dated, I would be disappointed with my life.
Well, you know what?
Am I being mean for saying that?
I will tell you one thing. I've been watching I like a lot of reality shows. So I've been watching a lot of supermodel reality shows like America's Next Top Model, and there's others.
Right.
And it really is, it's like how unique you can look and what you can
Oh.
do with your
Well,
look.
she
It's
does
really
look
not
she
the
does look
prettiest
unique.
person who wins all the time.
She does look unique.
Yeah.
Like she's got the Will Smith ears. And the very chiseled features on her face.
Oh my
She's very
gosh.
statuesque. I'm being a jerk. I
You
should stop. That's just
not nice.
mean.
The thing
I
is,
don't want to see her make fun of people. Like, but there's another picture. Maybe she looks better in that one.
Look
I
at
mean,
them as a couple.
I really think sometimes people just go for status. Like guys will just be like, "Oh, she's a model," so that automatically makes her prettier than everybody else. And I think that people forget that they don't always choose models for how pretty they are. They
No,
choose
they don't.
models like for how well you might wear the clothes,
Your
or
personality
yeah,
has a lot to do
or
with it.
just how unique your look is. So
Yeah.
if your face is like, if you look like a dinosaur, that's pretty unique.
They do like the androgynous
They
face
do.
where you could be like a man or a
And
woman.
you know, I'm sorry.
That is like so
I
popular
really
now.
think it's some of that. I think it's the fact that a lot of the people that run the modeling industry are not straight men. I think if straight men were picking the models, they would all look totally different. But let me just stop because people are gonna get mad at me.
You're gonna be
So let's get
canceled,
refocused.
boys.
I know. Well, they can't cancel me. You can't cancel a strong black man. You can only cancel these little wimpy Negroes in Hollywood, but you can't cancel me. But anyway, so here's what I canceled myself.
You cancel yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. Okay, so let's dive into it. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. So let's talk about this. Okay, so why are we even talking about like all of this? Well, the reason we were talking about it is because I know you and I love to have conversations about love and money and just kind of how that overlaps. And in this particular case, you have two people here that had all the money in the world, and you
And
know
all the success in the world,
all the
clearly,
success you can
right?
possibly have, and they still end up in divorce court. There's probably a lot of stress and pain, and and Gisele's going through it, sort of watching her husband give himself brain damage, because football is a really dangerous sport. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to see him, out there as a 40-something-year-old man getting hit in the head and all that. And and he's probably stressed because he feels like he has dreams he wants to pursue, which is to keep playing football for as long as he can, and he feels kind of held back from that.
Yeah, well, it sounds like to me that they had an agreement. It sounds like to
Mm,
me they sat down and said, "Look, how many more Super Bowls do you really need to win?"
mm,
Because if you think about it, during the NFL season, like it's a
mhm,
grueling schedule. Like you're away from your family, and I mean, she has her own thing to do. And children, once children become school age, like they need to have a lot of stability. They can't just be up and just travel along with their dad in this terrible schedule. Like their
mm,
NFL schedule is awful. So I think that they just missed their father, and she's missing her husband. So sounds like from what I read is that they had an agreement that enough was enough. You were going to end your career at a
mm,
certain time, you're going to retire. And maybe they had plans together. Who knows what their
mm,
plans are? Maybe they're going to take that cryptocurrency money and do something with it.
hmm.
Seemed like they lost their cryptocurrency money. But
well, that is another financial thing. I mean,
yeah.
they were heavily invested with FTX,
Yes, they
and
were.
in case you guys don't know, FTX was a um is a crypto trading firm that was really big. They advertised during the Super Bowl. So they made a deal with Tom Brady to be a spokesperson for FTX. I think his wife was too.
Oh
And
my
they
goodness.
even ran ads where in the ad they were getting all their celebrity friends to go sign up with FTX. And so FTX was run by a guy named Sam Bankman Fried, this really nerdy looking guy who was a 30-year-old billionaire. And FTX was just on the climb. I mean, he was getting a lot of good press because he was one of the few people that appeared to get out of the crypto winter unscathed. And so he had the couple, instead of taking money, apparently the Brady's took an equity stake in this company that eventually became worth, millions of dollars, at least tens of millions, probably maybe over $100 million or more. And they got hammered. They lost a lot. But the thing is that there was a lot of financial contagion because they got a lot of their celebrity friends involved.
Oh,
So like Steph Curry was heavily invested, Shaquille O'Neal, like a lot of really respected celebrities. And
and Shaquille O'Neal was good with his money. Steph Curry, they seem to be like
some of them are, I mean, they are making incredible amounts of money, but sometimes they get presented as these financial geniuses when really they're not. It's not what it's cracked up to be,
hmm.
you know.
Well, that's going to sour the mood in the relationship. I just think that when you have like a financial crisis, I guess we want to call it that. I mean, I don't care. You could have $500 million. If you lose $20 million, you're still going to be in a bad mood. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
so it probably strained their relationship even more. And I mean, I think that when couples like have that sort of challenge in their relationship, it really should bring them closer together. It's like, okay, we have this problem. Let's get together and try to fix it. But
We,
hmm
but you know what's funny? You
hmm
said something about this marriage a long time
I
ago
said it a long time.
that really was is hilarious now that it's happening. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you public props on this. I'm gonna give you public props. You said months before FTX, months before any of this, before even the divorce, you said if he don't do right by that woman, nothing good will come to him. That literally it was like a Whoopi Goldberg Color Purple moment where you said if he does not do right by his wife, nothing good will come to him. And it's hilarious because I remember you said it.
And you
And
looked at me
here,
like I didn't know what I was talking about.
yeah, because you said that she's in the metaphysics.
She's high into metaphysics. I remember I remember her having a conversation talking about how she had her crystals out and her when her husband plays that she does her meditations and she was and I said, "Ooh, whoa, what's going on?" And I really started paying attention to that couple because she kept making those statements. She was like, "I protect him when he's out there," and she gave him some stone or some crystal to take with him while he was playing football to help protect him. So she was worried about him and when they got together, that's when he started winning those Super Bowls. So
Mm,
I was like, that's his magic ticket. And I said, if he messes with this lady, if he does not treat her right, all hell's gonna break loose. He is never ever gonna win another game. He's never ever gonna win another Super Bowl. I didn't say another game, but another Super Bowl. Bad things will happen to him. And sure enough, the FTX thing happened. And I kept sending you the articles. You remember? I
hmm.
sent you the articles. I said, I told you so. And I sent you another article. I told you so. I'm
Well,
like, he is never ever gonna do well.
well, let me just tell you what has happened to Tom Brady since you made that statement. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to sit here and let you tell me I told you so. All right. So first off, you had he's having a terrible, terrible season.
And I
Like
predicted that.
yeah, the Buccaneers are not very good at all. You know, they're just not. They're one of my favorite teams because I actually love Tom Brady as a football player. I don't care if he's white. I like winners. I just like people that win. I think that's cool. So the Buccaneers are not very good. In fact, he just lost 3 games in a row recently, and it was the
Hmm.
first time he'd lost 3 games in a row in 20 years. Literally, he has not lost 3 games in a row since 2002. And then third, you had the the whole thing with FTX, where the reports were that they lost hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's kind of I'm not saying I necessarily buy into everything that you just said, right? I don't know. Could be a coincidence.
But
But
here's
if it's a coincidence, it's a pretty heavy coincidence. Go ahead.
okay. So number one, I don't believe in coincidences.
Okay.
Number two, how many times have I been wrong about people?
Mm, that is well,
I'll wait.
okay.
I'll wait for your answer.
Now you just bragging. Now you just bragging. Cause you warned me. Cause I've run into some crazy people, and you 2 times. I think about two
More than
people.
twice.
You know the 2 people
I
I'm
know
thinking
who you're
about. I
talking
can't say
about.
their names because everybody in the chat would know who I'm talking about. Just think about anybody publicly who has been like a thorn in my side, who's been like getting on, who's really like attacked me or whatever. And I try to be nice to the person, and my wife would say, "Don't be, don't mess with him. I see crazy in his eyes, Boyce." You wouldn't say it like that, but you would warn me that you see mental health issues, and then all hell would break loose, and I would be like, "Damn, I should have listened to my wife." So I'm gonna have to give you credit on that for sure. So you're right.
I'm on your team, boys.
I know you are. And that's why I love
You have
you.
to trust and believe. I want the best for you.
Well, I love you too.
Always.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
There we go.
Anyway, all right. So do me a favor. By the way, you listen to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. My PhD is in finance. My wife's a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work,
And I'm partly psychic.
and partly psychic with her women's intuition. If you could take 1 second, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You got to hit the notification bell on YouTube, or they will not notify you when we go live. Or I think actually on Facebook, you can hit a follow button, but make sure you hit that notification bell or the follow button in addition to subscribing, because sometimes channels, they don't get the reach that they that we deserve. So,
You gotta
uh,
mash. You gotta squash the. Wait, what do you do
well,
with
hit
it?
the like button, but you got to hit that notification bell. That's really important.
Smash the button.
Yes, yes. So, sorry. So, so Stephen asked, "What did dude's marriage crisis have to do with my life and finances?" Good question.
Oh,
So,
you are you
so
featuring that question?
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
here's the question. All right. So here's the thing. That's a great point. Why would we talk about something like this? And sometimes celebrities are interesting to talk about, but it's really a matter of saying, is there something that we can learn from this? So you were reading some research, as we just created our financial therapy department in the Black Business School, and we're looking into issues like love and money. You were reading some research just now about couples in income with high income couples and some of the things that they run into. And I'm gonna just start. I'll start by guessing, and then I'm gonna let you come step in as a therapist.
Hmm.
I'm gonna guess that having a lot of money doesn't guarantee that you're gonna get along better. That I used to think that being broke was something that you would, that you would fight about, and that if you aren't broke anymore, that gives you one less thing to fight about. And I don't believe that to be true anymore. I believe that if you're gonna fight, you're just gonna fight, you know. And I think that money and these high-powered careers, what I've seen is that sometimes when you have two high-powered people, you could have a scenario where maybe egos get in the way, or maybe time schedules don't allow you to really pour into the relationship like you want to, or maybe it's one person wants to do more things as a family with the kids, the other person still wants to run around and jet set with celebrities. So that's what I'm thinking that this kind of marriage, as much as we might think it will be just sort of this perfect little match, that the money and the power and the fame just creates a lot of complications.
Yeah, and I think what the article found was that it's the work-life balance that's out of balance with a lot of high-income couples.
Okay.
So I mean, you have here she is, and think about it. He's buried himself into football. Like all he's known, probably since he was in Pee Wee football when he was little. I don't know his history, but I'm certain he's been associated with football. That has been such a large part of his identity for such a long most of his life, probably.
Mm,
That's where he gets all of his joy, pleasure, accolades, everything comes from him on that football field. He's in control of everything. Think about it. The quarterback, he's one of the best quarterbacks probably of all time at this point.
he's the
And in
he's known as the greatest quarterback ever.
okay, so he's the GOAT of quarterbacks. So when he is on that field, he's in control. He doesn't have to work. It's like everything starts with him. He calls out the plays, he makes the punts, he probably does his huddle. I don't know. This is about as close to football as I can even imagine that I know. But it's like it's all his territory and he can read the plays. I mean, it's unbelievable comebacks he's had in
Mhm.
games, right? So
Yeah.
that's where he gets his joy from for the most part. So let's think about Giselle. She gets her joy from modeling and doing all of these things. I'm almost certain that she has sacrificed, literally sacrificed her body
Mm,
in having all of these kids, popping out these children, putting her career on the back burner.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And she's way more successful than he is in terms of finances.
Mm.
She's got to put her career on the back burner and move to Boston, the coldest place in the world.
Boston.
I'm certain. I mean, she was born and raised in Brazil. Like that's beautiful. And she's got to go to dark, cold, lonely Boston away from her family, sacrificing herself for her husband with
Mm,
the plan that he would do this for X amount of years and then he was going to retire. I'm certain she is done with him
mm,
because it was his turn to now make this sacrifice. We've sacrificed everything. Your kids don't even know who you are because you're gone so often. Here I am, lonely in Boston with all these people. Even with all the money in the world, you're even more lonely with all the money in the world. Like, how can you make friends in this new place when you got photo shoots? I don't know what her life is like, but I'm almost certain that it was probably extremely difficult coordinating their careers and their busy schedules and everything. And it was his turn to make the sacrifice, and he didn't do it.
okay. I get it. I hear what you're saying. But I also think that
I am siding with her a little
Right,
bit.
I get it. I get it, and I think that's going to be natural, right? I think that that makes sense, and I'm not going to really side with it because I don't know. We don't know
It
the
sounds
details.
like I
No, right.
am,
Well, we
so I
don't know we
probably
don't know
am.
the details, right? We don't know what it is. For
Hmm.
all we know, the divorce could have happened because you know she doesn't know how to cook, or Tom, she does she beats Tom up in the morning. Or you never know. You don't know what, right? We don't know the specifics. I'm just thinking about it just from, standing here. I think that one thing that it reminds you of is that everything that glitters isn't gold. And I think I choose to believe that both of them made sacrifices. I choose to believe that he made sacrifice. I mean, he's
What
for
sacrifice could he have made? I mean,
oh,
just
it's a
based on
massive
what we know.
sacrifice. For 20 years, he was Tom Brady. He could have had 10 girlfriends at once, and
He's got
he could have got a
he's
mansion.
got the number
Do
one
you know
supermodel in the world.
that's
What
great?
more could you
He could
ask
have had
for?
20 supermodels, right?
Maybe
He
he
could.
wants 20 instead of one.
I'm not saying he does or doesn't. I mean, she gave him something amazing, right? She gave him a wife, and she gave him kids and a family, and that's extremely valuable. But also, for men, also freedom is really valuable.
Man,
So
it's time to grow up and
I get it.
stop playing games.
I get it. But remember though, when they got married, he was in his 20s, So I think, that everybody made a sacrifice. I think marriage is hard for everyone. I don't look at it as, okay, she had it so hard. The torture of being married to Tom Brady, the torture of being married to one of the most wealthy, successful football players on earth that every woman would like drops at his feet. Like, no, it's not a torture. Like, they were both privileged to be in the marriage and they created a family together. And so with the divorce, what's interesting to me, what I think about when I see something like this happen is, first of all, it's sad. I mean, I think that the biggest victims of the divorce are the children. I do believe that. That's the first
Mhm.
thing I believe. But then, second of all, um, there's a lot of complications. Each of these people is a walking corporation, and divorce is one of the biggest wealth killers of all time. And, so ultimately, my argument would be, if you choose to get married, either choose or don't choose. And if you choose, then if you should invest in that marriage. I mean, that means investing in therapists. That means investing in whatever mechanisms you can create to try your best to get along. Because if you break that union apart, it's just like breaking a company apart. Anytime a company breaks into pieces,
Mhm.
there's millions in legal fees that have to be paid, and there's lost opportunities. You're weaker as a unit. So I just think that's the part that I process when I sort of see what's going on. And then it's like, okay, so now both of them, are starting over in their 40s. And you can, there's a dating scene and all that stuff. It just makes you I don't know. Kind of sad. It makes you wonder, like, what could be done to make it better, make it different.
Yeah, it is disappointing that they weren't able to put their heads together and reconcile whatever was going on with them. And maybe those issues were happening for quite some time, and the pain from that is probably too intense, and maybe she just got fed up, or maybe he got fed up with it, and that was it. Those things kind of happen, but it's just sad. You're right, it is sad to see, and I am like listening to you talk, and I'm thinking he's play games for a living. He needs to stop playing games and get serious about his marriage.
Well,
And
and I,
and
and I
and
don't,
she does too. I
right, and
mean, it would be nice if both of them could,
I don't
you
think,
know.
yeah, and I don't think that would be a fair statement.
It wouldn't
I
be
think it would
fair.
be unfair for us to judge why it happened, right? I think it's more so about
Well,
sort of,
I'm just listening to what she said. I don't think he said very much of anything,
well, he
but
did,
I was just
right.
listening to what she's saying.
Well, let me just say this too.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing about this marriage that I did like, and I think that should be considered if you have something to lose. I like the fact that they sealed all the details.
Yeah, that's really great.
They didn't let
Mm-hmm.
they didn't let everybody kind of in on all their business. They didn't make it messy. The fact that she said some things about it, even though she did talk a little more than him, the things she said were relatively classy and
Mm-hmm.
sort of maintained the integrity of the family, and
Mm-hmm.
protected the children. Like, what I really don't like, what really pisses me off, I'm gonna tell you the truth, is I hate divorces that get messy
Mm-hmm.
and people start acting ghetto and crazy and loud and attacking each other. And these poor children are sitting in the middle of that.
And they can hear all of that. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, your kids don't
Oh,
need to hear all that. Like, so
yeah.
that would definitely be my advice to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Look, breakups happen. That's fine. Do what you're gonna do, but keep the kids out of it.
Well, it sounded like, because I think she's the only one speaking at this point, but it sounds like to me she was just deeply hurt by it. Like she was deeply hurt and very disappointed, and she had a vision. I like as a therapist, I was like, I always talk to couples about sit down and plan how you want your life to be. I mean, what are your individual goals? How can you support each other? But have couple goals together. And I think that's just important in terms of commitment and everything in the marriage. It's like, okay, how do we want to spend our life together? And when you sit down and when you plan that with somebody, you expect them to come through with those plans. And according to what she was saying, was that we had a plan and he didn't follow through with it. And
Yeah,
so
but
it sounded like to me that maybe they needed to go back to the table and renegotiate it or talk about it again. But it sounds like to me that she was just kind of fed up.
I get it.
Yeah.
I will also say too. I believe people have a right to change their mind.
Yeah,
It's
you
it's like it's
absolutely
like
have a
right.
right to
It's like
change your
yeah.
mind.
It's like if a man and a woman get together and they plan to have sex. If the woman says, like,
Not
hey,
right
I
now.
I changed my mind. I'm not interested anymore. The man can't say, well, you owe me some sex. No, the man has to accept that decision. And so I think people have a right
It
to
takes
change their
two.
mind.
It takes two to
It
tango.
does take two. It takes two. And I really also think, in general, in this country, I think we got to do some serious research on why the divorce rate is higher than it should be.
Hmm.
I think that I'm curious to see what would the world look like if we either went all the way to the left or all the way to the right. And what do I mean by that? Either we just see marriage for what it is. Okay, you're dating until you decide to break up. That's it. You're in a contract until you decide to end the contract.
Hmm.
Just like if you work with somebody, if you work for an employer, okay, cool. So marriage has 5-year renewable contracts. Every 5 years, we're gonna decide if we want to do a re-up and renew our vows and do
Like
another.
Married at First Sight, you have like a meeting every 5 years, and
Yeah,
they
hell yeah.
say, "Are you gonna stay together? Are you
Yeah, yeah.
gonna?"
Why not? Why not do 5-year renewable contracts?
I got it.
And just like they do in sports, when Tom Brady signs a deal with a team, they decide after 3-4 years, okay, this is
You out of here.
a 4-year contract. We're gonna cut you from the squad, whatever. Or if you really want to act like it's gonna be permanent, maybe there should be some sort of process to make it more difficult for you to get married. Like maybe you got to go through a year of training and
Hmm.
in order to even get a marriage license. Like I'm getting my pilot's license. I can't just go hop in the airplane and start flying. I got to go through a lot of work. I got to put in so many hours of flight time. I got to go through
Hmm.
hours and hours of instruction. I can't just go and say I'm a pilot because I said so. I have to actually get trained to do this. So when you're talking about building a family, what's more important, I mean, than family, right? So you go into the process of building a family, maybe people should be required to get a license to even begin that process, to even say that you're a couple and you're a family, and to be taken seriously in that regard. And then make consequences for breaking that vow. That means like,
Hmm.
okay, you're worth, your net worth is X amount of dollars. Well, in order for you to get a divorce, you're gonna have to pay $100,000 to get out of that marriage, and you'll be $100,000 in debt.
Hmm.
I don't know. I kind of feel like there should be like a price you have to pay. Like it's too easy to get married. And then, because I be getting mad when people invite me to their weddings and I know they ain't going to stay married more than 6 months. It's like, why you making me get all dressed up?
Now I will say
I
you
got to buy a
have done
plane
that.
ticket. I have done that. Yeah, I have
Hmm.
had times where I did not go to somebody's marriage because I was like, they're not, or somebody's wedding because I'm like, they're not going to stay married. I don't take this relationship seriously. Y'all knew each other 6 weeks. I'm not going. I'll come. Maybe I'll show up later after the divorce is over. But I'm not. No,
You are something else. Okay, so
does that make
here's
me?
the
That don't
thing.
make me petty, does
Okay,
it?
let me just try to like process what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So you're assuming that marriage is a piece of paper. It's a legal contract. That's where you're
It
coming from.
absolutely is a legal contract.
Okay. So that's interesting because I see marriage as a little broader than that. Yeah, yeah, it is a piece of
Yeah,
paper.
I would say it's only a legal contract. But it is a
Uh-huh.
legal contract. I mean, legally in the state, you are registered as a married couple.
Okay. Okay. So I see marriage as mental,
Okay. Right.
right?
Okay.
So I think that long before um you get married, you're married mentally.
Right.
Like two people coming together and joining together. It happens with or without a piece of paper. And I also have the perspective where two people can get divorced long before they go to court and get it official.
Okay. Right.
Because marriage and divorce, being together and joining together, it just happens, regardless if they make it official and make it legal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's two separate things. So I see marriage as something that is just you really joining with another person and being with them and being committed and having all that trust and everything that's important, all of the elements, and losing your identity in a sense and joining together with another person as a married couple.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you're legally married, it doesn't make a difference.
Okay. Well, you know what? I don't disagree with you. I mean, I think marriage is definitely more than a legal contract.
Hmm.
Um, I do also think though that it's there's something that is happening. There's something out of whack. Like
It
like
is out of
like I
whack.
think
That's what's out of whack.
yeah, like I think Kanye's wife, Kim, when she got married before him, I think she was married for like 30 days or something.
75 days she was married. At
Yeah,
one of her, because she's been married 4 times and
4 times.
divorced 4 times.
Wow. That's so crazy. Like almost think it should be like a DUI. Like you get too many DUIs, you can't
You
drive no
can't, you're
more.
done. You can't. We are not issuing you any more
Oh my
marriage
gosh.
contract.
Divorced
So,
under the influence. Hey,
hmm,
by the way, you're listening to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. On Pillow Talk, we like to have intelligent conversations against our pillows. Just and fun conversations too. So it's a lot of fun that we have. So if you'd like to actually get a free e-copy of my book, Financial Lovemaking, feel free to go to boyceandalicia.com. And if you'd like to learn more about what Alicia does as a therapist, you can actually go to coachingwithdralicia.com. She's been seeing clients and couples for a really long time. And that's us and our kids after the movie. Remember we went to see the movie Smile? And I told
yeah,
everybody
we were all
to
being.
give your creepiest smile. And those smiles are pretty creepy. They look at except Coco in the back. She's
Well,
so
it's hard to get kids to do
right.
something all at the same
Yeah,
time.
kids are ridiculous. But yeah, so and by the way, just as a reminder, we actually developed a financial therapy department, a black financial therapy department in the Black Business School, where we want to explore the psychological barriers that keep us from building black wealth and stronger black families, etc. So if you'd like to join us, we're actually doing a Love and Money Masterclass as kind of the first offering in the Black Financial Therapy Department. If you are interested, you can actually join at a 72% discount because it's Black Friday. We start December 4th. You can go to loveandmoneymasterclass.com. And we're going to cover a lot of cool stuff in the Love and Money Masterclass. You can't really read that, so I'm not going to put that up there. But basically, we're going to talk about your relationship with money, how money affects your relationship with other people, how financial anxiety can kick in and cause various forms of relationship stress. So if you are interested in joining us, you can go to loveandmoneymasterclass.com. And for this weekend, it's 72% off. The regular price for the 4 week sessions are $499, but you can actually jump in for $139. So you can bring your spouse and sit down and or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or just yourself and learn a lot about love and money. So it's up to you. We'd love to have you there. And we start December 4th. The URL, I'll leave it on the screen. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. Mr. Makes Sense says, Boyce, you taking us for granted, not reading these comments. Well, yep, I'm not reading anything. That's why I didn't just read that comment that you just put up there. Come on, Doc. I'm trying to be careful with my mouth, but Kim K is a you know what, very bad example. That is so true. That is so true. When I did talk to Kanye West, I think you heard me say that to him, where I said, I have to be honest with you, I never would have married a Kardashian.
He didn't have anything to say to
He
that, did
didn't. He
he?
didn't. He did. He had no
He
response.
had no
Yeah, he
response.
had no response. But I did tell him. I said, because the thing was, I have to be honest with you, no matter who I'm talking
Hmm.
to, and I was like, okay, I don't know anything about white people, I don't think enough about Jewish people to diss them. Um, and I never would have married a Kardashian. And I think this is the source of many of your problems. I said the things that these white folks are doing to you. That's exactly why I don't do business with certain people. I don't even want them to give me things so they can take it from me. I feel that there's enough
Mhm.
strength in my own community that that's where I can live. I dedicate my energy and my life to the Black community. Period.
Mhm.
And I do that deliberately. I don't want to be in the mainstream like that.
Well, one thing I will say is that I think he took all of that in. Like, I got
Hmm.
the impression, if I could say that, that
Yeah.
he was like really listening to you. Like, he really, I think he just really looks up to you boys. Like,
Well,
seriously, that's my impression.
maybe, I don't know. I can't tell. I just, I know that I did my best to offer support, because I think that he's having a stressful time.
Hmm.
I wish he hadn't decided to go as far as he did to cause his Adidas deal to go under, because I'm like, look, if you don't care about your own money, like maybe you can give that money to the Black community. Like Adidas
Hmm.
is giving you $250 million a year, and that's a lot of money to throw away. How about you give that money, throw that money in this direction, throw us a tenth of that money. Let us go build schools. We'll name them after you. I don't care. I'll go build
Right.
some Black-owned schools, get to hire some of the baddest Black teachers out here, and get them teaching in Black schools. So
I think it's possible.
I
I
think
really do think it's possible. I haven't hung that phone up yet.
I think it's possible, but it's very stressful because I think celebrities don't they see a different world from the rest of us.
That's true.
They're in this interesting space, and I don't know what it's like to have white folks buy my $400 shoes around the world, or in Asian people and all that. I don't think
Yeah.
about other people. I think about Black people, and he just lives in a different world.
Yeah, I think it is a different world. Like, I'm thinking about like celebrities, even like the Kardashians and Kim and Kanye, like when he's on tour and she's doing her thing shooting the reality show, like I always wondered, like, how do they stay connected? Like, how are they knowing each other? Like, when you leave for like the weekend and go and go for a weekend and come back, I'm like, I want to just hang out with you all the time because I'm like, who are you? I feel like I want to get to know you all over again. So I can't even imagine the amount of pressure that they're under. And I don't know how these relationships even stay. I don't know how these people stay together as long as they do. Because it's almost impossible to keep that connection going when you just spend so much time apart
well,
physically.
Well, it's tough. I mean, I could do that. Like, I could stay married to someone that
That you
I
don't
didn't
know
see
very
very.
well.
Yeah, I can do it. Like, even if I didn't, no, not know very well. Like, you can still talk on the phone every day. You can see each other as much as you can. You can travel back and forth. You got private jets. Like, if you're
Oh,
rich like
that's
Tom
right.
Brady, I mean,
Okay.
they got easy ways to connect if you really want to. Like, if you just dedicate an hour or two per day to connecting with something or someone, you're gonna be very connected to it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
yeah, like
That is
if
true.
I'm trained to be a medical doctor and I train for 2 hours a day, it's not intense training. It's not 8 hours a day, but it's still 2 hours a day. Anything you do for 2 hours a day, you're gonna be connected to it.
Yeah, but it's like when you leave, it's just like, well, sometimes like you leave, I'm like, okay, Boyce is gone, that's fine. And then like by like 2 days, I'm like, I want you to come back now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could just like if I could take all of that all the time.
Well, that's because I'm just so damn irresistible.
You
That's
real
your
you
problem.
are. It's terrible.
Yes,
I need to stop.
you have an insatiable appetite for the boys.
That is
Yeah.
very true, by the way. Like people y'all don't know. Boyce is really phenomenal.
I think I'm quite lovable.
You really are. And it's like uh, I'm
I'm,
saying that like nobody else is, but I'm certain people feel it's like, what am I gonna do with myself? Voice is gone. You know,
I don't know.
that
Well,
is
you
how
know
I
what?
feel.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you this. I think that when you're talking about, I mean, just to go full circle on the topic we were talking about in the beginning, with Gisele and Tom Brady, what I really see here with this is that I think that in general, when I'm trying to understand life, I go back to the basics. Okay, what are the three major areas of life that matter the most? Tend to health, wealth, and relationships. And I'm thinking if my goal is to have a healthy, happy life, I think about my health, my mental and physical health. How does this relationship fit into that? So, like for example, with you went running. You pushed me to go running today, and people have seen me lose weight, and look
Hmm.
better because I've been hanging out with you. So that's a point in my physical health that I appreciate. Now when you talk about mental health, the upside is, I am married to a therapist, which, reminds me of the importance of digging into mental health. But at the same time, the downside though is that, the up and down of relationships, the arguing or that might happen or going back and forth can be a huge drain on your mental health. So
Hmm.
on one hand, there are ways it can support your mental health, some ways it can drain it. Now, in terms of wealth, on one hand, marriage can build your wealth. Like you look at Tom and Gisele, they were wealthier than ever because they came together. They brought their empires together, and they have over $500 million. But then the other wealth effect, though, is now that the divorce has occurred, they each have half of what they had before, right? So
I mean, he could technically get alimony from her.
yeah,
Like
he
she makes
could.
that much more money than him.
He could, but
Eh.
then
Hmm.
also thinking about wealth. Here's another wealth effect though that people may not think about: the fact that they handled their split amicably
Yeah.
saved them probably $20 million, because they could have been out here fighting like cats and dogs, acting a damn fool, making it hard for each other, ruining each other's brands. Each one writes a tell-all book about the other one, so both of y'all end up looking stupid and crazy.
And
So,
their children
so
suffer. Their
right,
children suffer financially
yep.
and psychologically.
And that's something money came by. I mean,
Right.
that's more than money, right?
Hmm.
And then the last part between health, wealth, and relationships are just relationships. Your relationship with the people that matter, your relationships with, so you got each other, you got your children, you have your loved ones, you have yourself. Those are some key relationships. How are those relationships affected when you get together? So I would ultimately say that, you know, that I think they're actually handling this reasonably well. But I do think that overall, it's like, I mean, marriage can be tough. I mean, I
Hmm.
think it's not something to be done lightly.
Yeah, it does take a sacrifice, but I think that, like, because I realize that I'm thinking more of like work life balance, and I know that you work a lot of hours, and I try to
Hmm.
do everything that I can to support you in all the work that you do. But at the same time, I'm also looking at you like, okay, we need to have our time together,
Hmm.
and so and that's important to me.
Yeah.
And so it is a balance, like, okay, I'm not going to interrupt you in your meetings. I'm not going to bother you when you're busy doing something, or if you're doing a podcast. Although sometimes I do bother you when you're doing a podcast, but I try not to. I try to give you your space for sure, but at the same time I have needs too. So, I mean, and this is not just for me, this is for everybody. What do you do? You have a very ambitious person. I know you have a lot of work to do for the public and all of that, but we need to have some balance because me and you have to be connected.
Hmm.
So, it is a very tricky thing. And the pressure that we're under, it's a lot of pressure. I have two jobs, I got kids, I got things to do, and you have stuff to do, but we have to make sure that a marriage is important enough that we can carve out time to have nice times together.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have a nice time with you, sleeping next to you in a minute. So we're about to roll out, everybody. It was great talking to you, and don't forget, this is Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. If you guys could take 1 second and hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. The notification bell is extremely important. And also, I want to invite you all to our Love and Money Masterclass that's going to start December 4th. You can actually go to boycewatkins.com and take a look. And if you're interested in figuring out how to make money work for you in your relationships and how to have the right relationships that also work for you financially, we are good at that. My PhD's in finance. My wife's a therapist. So for 4 weeks, we will meet with you once a week, and you can ask us questions, and we will talk you through that process of assessing where you are in terms of your relationship with money and how money impacts the relationships that you have. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com if you'd like to take a look. And for Black Friday, you can actually get a discount. We start December 4th. and everything is yours for life. All the materials, all the slides, all the recordings are yours for life. So the regular fee is $4.99. For this weekend, it drops to $139. So if that's something that works for you and can help you achieve your goals, then feel free. We'd love to counsel you and support you in living your best life. So take care, everybody. God bless you. Have a good night. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.